Welcome to the Eye of Power podcast. I'm your host, Tom Dardick. But this podcast is not about me. It's about you and your power. It's time to claim yours. As I record this, I'm about to go on my third Cruise to the Edge, which is a trip that I hopefully will not miss again. It's started by the members of the bands Yes and Genesis, Steve Hackett and Steve Howe, and it's progressive rock themed cruise. Started in 2013 and been every year except for a little hiccup from the pandemic, but this will be my third one, and I've sort of made a vow to myself that unless something big comes up, I really don't want to miss another one. It's sort of a peak experience for me. Some of my favorite musicians, some of my favorite bands, all together, all day concerts in beautiful weather in the Gulf and in the islands, and starting to get some really nice friendships that are also dedicated to this particular trip. And as I anticipate going to 5 to 10 shows a day and hanging out, I it just kind of makes me think about what makes me happy. That's one of the things, connecting with people, listening to music, expanding my circle to people from all over the world. These are the things that make me happy and have a lot of passion for. And so I won't be around next week to record a show, so I thought I would get it out of the way and do it right now. And just want to kind of share a little message of passion, and we talk about that a lot in the Eye of Power. I'm thinking of Paul Kirby and his fusioneering. You might recall if you saw the episode, he is the artist who is also a robot engineer, and so he combined those two passions and built Dulcinea, and he programs to create really unique and one-of-a-kind pieces of art. And you can't buy them. You can look at them on the website, but you can't buy them. So check out that episode if you want more. But and actually, while I'm on Paul, he has The Art of Fusioneering. That book just came out yesterday. So look that up on Amazon or any of the big platforms, and do yourself a favor and get that book and read it. And he talks about a path to how we can fuel our passions. And his message was to kindle the flames of the things that you are naturally into, and then find ways to combine them. So as I just talked about what I'm excited about the cruise, it's music. I've been a musician my whole life, and I'm passionate both to play and listen to music, passionate about what I consider to be the highest achievements in music, and the people that can do that. And to be able to get to know people who are at that level is truly fulfilling to me. Meet kindred spirits that also see it the same way. Being part of a community and a part of a fellowship that sees things the same way can be very fulfilling and joyful. So that's one way to combine in the business that we're building with the Mentor Machine based on the Eye of Power. We're combining sort of technological know-how with the know-how of the human condition. And the combination of those two things coming together are creating something that never has really existed before. Sort of analogous to what Paul did with Dulcinea. So it's these kinds of things. So I'm saying all this because I want you to think about in your world what you're passionate about. Maybe take a time to put together a list and really fulfill, you're already pursuing those things that you're into, but really kind of play with it and think about how you might combine some of these things. When you do that, you start to go into maybe perhaps uncharted territory where either a few or maybe nobody has dared go before. And if it's got some value to other people, which again, if you're passionate about it, um, it's a pretty good bet that you're not the only one. It could very well be something that leads you in a very fulfilling direction. And so the last thing I want to talk about on this topic is the idea of fulfillment and the idea of specific kind of fulfillment. We at the Mentor Machine call it Alvea, Alvea. If you've listened to other shows, you've heard me talk about it, but we're really trying to get this as a concept that more people put as top of mind. And everybody wants joy. Everybody wants to feel seen, heard, felt, feel like their life makes a difference in the lives of other people. Alvea is related to those feelings. It's the special kind of fulfillment that comes from identifying your unique gifts. And the things you're passionate about are usually fairly close. These are neighbors. What you're passionate about, what you're good at, what your capacities are. And another thing that I say often is you might not be the smartest, you might not be the most experienced, you might not be the fastest, the strongest, the best looking, the most charming, the most erudite, the most quick, the funniest. Whatever measure you want to use in whatever capacity you want to talk about, it doesn't matter. We're not trying to compare any one thing to somebody else. There's always going to be people that are better at something than we are. But there's some combination of those things that, like a fingerprint, are unique to only you. And when you can identify those and you can develop them, and then, better yet, put them to use in the service of other people, when you can do that to the highest and best way that you can imagine, that's when you start feeling a certain type of fulfillment. And the type of fulfillment we are talking about there is Alvea. And what we're trying to do with the iPower model, specifically through the work of the Mentor Machine, is to create little Alvea factories so more and more people in the world feel this kind of feeling. We think it's sort of the highest feeling that we can feel. It's part of at least very close to the point of this whole thing we call life. And so I think it's something that its time is coming. And I'd love for you to feel as much Alvea as you possibly can. Hopefully, it's something that you've already felt. But if not, let's get busy. And the way you do that is to lean into the things that you're passionate about. So I'll just end with a quick kind of way to do that. So, what are the things that you think about a lot that you naturally want to do? What are the things that bother you the most in the world? What are the things that you would love to just erase as a problem? What are the things that sort of trigger you in a way that gets you going? These are breadcrumbs that sort of show the way. So if you pay attention to those things and dig down deep, then what you want to do is take whatever those feelings are, whatever those are, and then think in terms of your capacities, your acumens. What are the things that you know? What are the things that you see? What are the things that you've developed? What are the abilities that you have? What do people compliment you on? And start putting these things together. And you can do a little brainstorm by yourself. You can make it a fun thing to do with a trusted advisor, somebody close to you who's on your side and wants the best for you. This is a very good investment of your time. To follow those passions, I think, is wise advice. Now, the other thing I want to say about that is I know people that they feel like, well, nothing comes to mind, or I don't really have passions, or I can't relate to what you're saying. And if that's you, what I'll say to that is discover and explore and play. Try new things. Try things you haven't done before. Do things in a new way. Do something you've done a lot, but do it in a different sort of way. So get into the experimental mode. We tend to suppress ourselves because we think we might look silly, or people might judge us, or we might hurt our chances for advancement in our place of employment, these sorts of things. And I'll tell you, those are not very good reasons to not find what really is truly within yourself. So if you need some guidance or some support on that, there's plenty. The world is full of people who want you to move off of that particular sandbar and to become the most fully developed version and the most fully self-expressed aspect of yourself. And so I welcome you to the party. I'm looking forward to this week. I hope you have a wonderful week and find Alvea in your life. Be well.
This has been the Eye of Power podcast with Tom Dardick. I'd like to thank you for listening. I'd also like to thank my brother Scott Dardick for the music and his music production. If you'd like to reach me, simply email Tom at dardickcommunications.com